welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to the B stream here from IEM Oakland. The traffic continues to get worse as the day goes on, as many LA residents that are watching this may know, but the matches here seem to be getting better and better as we're now going to be moving into Group B to finish off the day and continue things forward. And it's going to be OpTic versus Gambit, I believe, is the match we're going to be covering next. What are your prospects for this match now, James, as we switch the groups?
First and foremost, I think the traffic is going to lighten up significantly as people rush home to watch the match, because it is illegal to watch a match while driving. Keep that in mind. And number two, these teams have not met each other with the current lineups. The last time the orgs, in general had met each other was CS Summit. So it's been a while. And it'll be interesting to see, because Gambit kind of has that play style that people can't really put a finger on, right? They're the first ones to beat FaZe in a BO3 at Epicenter. And OpTic are kind of wowing people in online matches but not performing offline.
Yes.
So, I think OpTic has a lot to play for here, a lot to prove.
Especially at a big LAN like this too, of course, because obviously having their chance at the minor, and then I think they played at one other smaller LAN too. Now being able to go here and potentially go up onto a big stage would be a nice way to sort of propel them forward into the limelight.
Exactly, right? Because these guys have all been on massive teams, top tier teams, and now they're kind of underperforming as a group. It can get kind of stale, right? Like at that point, you have to dig deep. Dren's setting up the flash for lower ramp. There's going to be 4 outside, and Mixwell playing that upper L-bend box hall. Magisk is going to be playing Z-Hump in his quick rotate. Gambit is basically going to be committed towards the inner bomb spot here, so they have no information Ivy, right? So if they were to want to push back Ivy, that would be a risk that somebody would have to take, right? It's like you better feel very confident in doing that, because somebody could literally be running up the stairs right now.
Rest of Gambit quickly pushing down the ramp, and Magisk, while he'll spot players and actually dink Fitch down pretty low, unfortunately won't be able to get the early kill. Wow, this Molly's doing massive damage to OpTic. Completely displaces their setup inside of that site too. That's potentially a round-winning Molly right there, as look at what it's done to OpTic. They're getting pushed back, they've taken massive damage. Everyone's out of the site for the most part here. They try to quickly wrap around CT and come in the other doorway, but Gambit takes such aggressive control off that Molly that it's basically impossible to come back from it. HS finally got at least 1 kill going for the OpTic roster, but that's going to be it. Gambit shut it down and take quick control of the pistol.
You know what? I actually just wrote down to watch this round after the match, because the way that smoke landed on Z-Hump looked very irregular, and the fact that somebody died purely from a molly is just unspeakable at this level, right? So obviously some cool things to take out of that.
I think someone may have messed up the smoke there, try to throw it with a molly, or just something else.
No, the smoke came in from a very vertical angle. A lot of people smoke Z-Hump on the pistol round, but I don't know how that bounced that way. Maybe, I don't know if it was a GoTV glitch, but I've definitely never seen it come at such an extreme downward angle.
Of course, there'll be plenty of room to check that out later, but for now, the match continues on. And we've got OpTic buying up primarily just pistols on this second round. Actually, it's just 2 Deagles on HS and Freiburg. Third one also on Magisk, but besides that, pretty lightly bought. They're going to do their best to resist Gambit on this round.
Oh, that looks shockingly close. Magisk is attempting to pull those off on a regular. And I don't think they know Hobbit's here, and Hobbit is the master of these plays. He's kind of this weird lurky type entry guy who just seems very cerebral in the way he does it.
Already spot HS there. Picks up the second kill too. Nice clean sweep from Gambit. Basically 0 response from the OpTic side so far. Alu obviously alone with a P250, not expecting him to get much done either. So very clean round overall from Gambit. Just kind of waltzing into the site, using Hobbit's position to really seal the deal and make sure that they lock it down. Hobbit actually kind of toying with whether he wanted to focus more on those mid-site players as well, but sticks to his guns, focuses on that one rotating player, and with that kill, pretty much secures the round. Yeah,
and also keep in mind, kind of a theme for today, I've been keeping count, is that we are now at 3 times the CTs did not buy in the second round after losing the pistol, and 2 times they did buy. So right now in the 5 maps we've seen, it's 3-2 in favor of not buying up in the second round.
Okay.
I don't have the conversion rate on the first gun round, but I could make a hand-wavy statement and lie to you guys, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't counted that part yet.
It's pure facts here on the stream.
Right? That's one of my pet peeves, is when people just kind of like willy-nilly just throw something out there and don't have any proof.
Well, after that round, of course, we still have the one full eco from OpTic to come, and it's going to still leave Alu, of course, with his P250s. If I remember correctly, he didn't stay alive in the last round there. Everyone else, though, fully saving, and probably not going to stay alive for very long if these nades continue to broil out on the site. Now, Dread actually doesn't spot Alu up on top of the green train, so he gets one off for free. Nice little way to start off the round, at least, causing some chaos, but Fitch will restore the peace, moving in and finding HS to take him down and bring us, more importantly, into a 4v4. Hobbit's already watching for a ladder flank, manages that. Mao with a nice little shot, knocks out Mixwell, just Freiburg now. And again, not expecting anything fantastic here, it's just a slow roll into the site to take control, and besides the loss of a Dren due to that, basically just not checking the top of the green train, it's another pretty clean round from Gambit to set them up at 3-0.
Yep. And interesting here to see that HS and Alu have opted to have no head armor, knowing that somebody with a MAC-10 survived. So I'd be interested to see what Adren does here in the MAC-10. He has a good spawn, so that means he might be pushing out that Olaf lane towards back green, maybe with a Molly flash, and no, he's not going to do it. So this is even more idiosyncratic, is the fact that he's going to go slow with a MAC-10. I wonder how he's going to make it work, where he's going to explode. He's lining up for some smoke. It looks like a right side bomb smoke, or Z smoke, usually people throw from there, just to have the little shadow in the fence. And Fitch gets picked at upper inner by Mixwell. That's going to allow them to turtle into a 3-2 setup, leaning a little bit towards outside. However, they do have a guy in Z, so it's a very passive setup, and Freiburg just got info that there's nobody Ivy.
Important note too, OpTic already getting the double op setup. I just realized this as well within the first gun round, which that in itself is usually very hard to achieve, but this is another benefit of not buying armor and the additional, utility on that second round.
Oh yeah, and if you've been watching any of the OpTic games recently, not gonna lie, I don't want to point shade at anybody, but it seems like Alu and Mixel both need to show up. Magisk has kind of not been the guy that they've hoped for him to be. I think they wanted him to be that config kind of hard carry superstar type, which he can achieve. Just hasn't been there.
Quick smoke setup from Gambit, gets them access to the site, and more importantly, access to the bomb train to find a plant. Actually get it down pretty cleanly as well, due to the 3 smokes over top of the bomb train. And Hobbit's looking to cause some havoc from up this front too. He's wrapped around the bomb train. They are looking for him. He scares Alu, gets him back up into heaven. And now he'll just hold on the other side as he knows there's Ivy presence. He's already got Freiburg low. Thrown off by the second player, however, will allow Magisk to trade it. But it's not long before more trades are on the way from Doja, who's picked up both Magisk and HS, just mopping up shop as well as he finds Alu. Mixwell will finally get the trade on a Mo, but it's a long story. And it seems like he's not going to have the chance to reclaim it in his own glory. He'll fall back, giving the round over to Gambit again. Only 2 players left alive, so it is going to be a bit messy. But regardless, gets the job done. And OpTic won't be rebuying, so they have their chance to restore the economy on the next round.
Don't look at me. I don't even want to talk.
I wasn't even looking
You're
at
like
you.
Rhyming so well that I just don't even want to break your flow, man. Actually, I do. I want to say that was a great call by Gambit. The way that they you could tell that they read that there was a double op, and they made a choice based on that. That's why you default, folks. You gain that info, and you make a high-quality mid-round call.
So now we are going to see Gambit follow through with this aggression. They're probably going to execute out onto A in a moment here as well. But still holding back for right now as HS.
Yep, they know he habitually plays there. They're going to clear that. Fitch is going to look for that every time because Fitch plays that spot on CT side.
They caught an Alu. Let's see. Sneaking up on top of the blue train. Sneaky little movement from him, but it gets caught before he can actually find any impact from it. Freiburg spamming in as well. Not able to find anything. He'll hold back. Let's see. He's got another player up on top. I'm amazed they're giving him this many chances to find kills, but finally it's Hobbit to take him down. As Magisk is left alone in a 1v5. Gambit very easily taking control here. And again, continuing to push forward.
What I like about this matchup is that it bolsters the narrative that I prefer. Right? I prefer the narrative of team-based CS over individual-based CS, right? And, people on paper, people that don't watch demos, I might add, would say that OpTic's probably a better team because they have higher skilled players, right? Like, how does anyone actually know whether or not a player is higher skilled, right? Like, how could you actually make an objective measurement to see that, right? Because every situation and every game is different. So frags are not a good proxy for that.
I just go to HLTV and check their ratings. That's probably how most people do it.
Yeah, because that's basically 100% gold standard foolproof. Although it does have some validity to it, it's like, what do you mean by more?
It's all very subjective at the end of the day.
Come on, man! I'm trying to present like a point to actually teach people how to think here, and you're totally undermining it. Not cool.
I undermine a lot of things.
Monkas.
Well, we've got Gambit once again looking for an executable. It looks like they're probably going to play this round a bit slower this time here. Definitely.
What do you mean a bit slower? It was slower last time. I'm going to undermine you now.
Oh.
Let's go.
All right.
It's like inverse chemistry.
Yeah.
Double opto, yep. And low utility, 1 kit. OpTic have already checked out here. Actually, I haven't. I'm just saying it's kind of risky.
It's all Magisk as well, trying to hold inner sight.
Does he have a molly left? Okay, good.
Yeah, he does.
I wonder if they're going to bait his utility first. I would hope.
I think they're
or just run out.
I think they're still going to assume that there's 2 in the site as well, so they'll play it based on that. Magisk, though, as you just saw there, gets the first kill by spotting Fitch early. Walk up left side. I get caught looking away, though, and that's where Doja finds the quick trade. Heavy cost to his own HP, but they still have smokes to be able to block off the cross. Adren up on top. The position on Train too, but he was only able to hit for 1 frag here. Still needs to pick up a few more. Tries to flick onto Freiburg, but Freiburg will end up getting the better of him. Knocks out Mo though. Adrian's still alive and in this fight. With the elimination of Doja, things will continue to get rough for these guys. See Hobbit trying to lurk within the smoke. Finally, Alu gets a kill here, but it's going to all come from, it's all going to all be against Gambit, excuse me, as they knock out these last 2 players and secure the first round on the board for OpTic.
Yeah, it seemed like Gambit got a little bit squirrely there on the post plant. Whoever that was opping on top Pop Dog, I think overstayed his welcome by a good 10 seconds. Like, taking more than 2 shots there is definitely overextension, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right, because he never even checked towards Cloud before that guy started shooting at him. And by that time in the round, he could obviously be there. But, you know, they're pros for a reason, so he has his reasons.
So a bit of a mistake will end up costing the OpTic roster, the Gambit roster, forcing them now to rebuy, but that's not too big of a task considering they've been dominating prior to this. Fitch, though, catches HS early on in this round, and Gambit are looking for quick revenge. They're going to want to be careful, though. No smoke in that mid lane means Mixwell can bust out here, find some big impact, swings a bit too wide against Adrian, though, so he finds the trade, eliminating Mixwell here. Trying to continue that forward to get up on top of the green train too, but he's got to be careful. Still a player in the old bomb tunnel. Doja knows Magisk is hiding out inside, but Magisk peeks the right time. Doesn't get the full kill though. Freiburg actually rolls in to finish off the frag against Doja and brings the T's down to only 2 players left alive, both of which have now fallen outside of T-Con. But the issue is the bomb is still very fully committed, sitting right next to E-Box right now. So Adrian's going to have to drop back down ladder in a second and re-push back outside because they're committed here. There's no secondary option. Seems as though OpTic rotated anyway, whether they just didn't realize the bomb was on the ground or some other reason. They still have presence inside. We're allowed to pick the bomb back up, and Adrian walks up, gets the quick headshot on a Freiburg to take him down. Now we're even again. And the health pools equated even more so. Adrian will continue to fall back. They'll play primarily into the train yards. The problem is, though, is they didn't realize Alu is still back in the Ivy tunnel. We're going to bait Mo into taking this shot. He'll miss it as well when he finally fires off, which is not going to be good for his health. Now if he peeks again, Alu will be ready up on top. They'll smoke over the bomb too. I don't think he saw Magisk crossing right there. He's not able to jump onto it, and he's got an op, so this is going to be shooting in the dark right here. Not even close to connecting onto this player, and Alu hits him through the E-Box to finish off the round as OpTic claim a second.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit is kind of taking a different approach here from what I normally see from them. They're usually a team that's very adamant about having pressure on Ivy almost every single round. You see Doja and Adren usually working there in tandem on the T side. And then Adren usually likes to tell his team to like fall back to inner. He has the final nade set at Ivy, and he could basically maintain at least 3 people outside with 2 of them at least cognizant of Ivy. So I'm wondering how they're going to use that late in this half, because the fact that they have not gone Ivy at all is almost like a tell to OpTic, because when they do go there, it's going to make it that much more obvious to those players. I'm wondering how Adren's going to use that, or Doja. I don't even know who's IGLing anymore, because it seems to be changing depending on what platform I'm reading online. It's not like I have communication with them directly. I don't want to trust a non-primary source.
Gotcha. We go ask them after this.
Right, like I'm interested to see, so, like, what are they going to do when they do go Ivy, right? So
it's been pretty direct so far from Gambit, to be honest. I don't think we've really expanded the full breadth of their strategy just yet. So I am curious as well to see what other tricks they have hiding their sleeve.
Like, are 9 and 8, are Mo and Doja looking at Ivy at all? It just seems like it's just a straight ladder and teammate exec.
Yeah, pretty much, right? It's all we've really seen from them. But it's somewhat working. Obviously, that's changed in the last 2 rounds, but for the most part, it still has worked out well for them in the early portions of this half. Alu now finding a trade, tries to take a shot on the ladder, which that's definitely taking a shot in the dark there. But Magisk will be able to complete this flank, and while the bomb does go down, it's left to only Mo, and he will not survive for very long either. OpTic clear the board once again, in a very quick fashion this time too, knocking out Gambit and securing a 3rd round for themselves. And this should push Gambit's economy to the brink, I think, with this last rebuy.
Yeah, but they've, lost 3 rounds in a row now, and then they had a bomb plant, so 3 plus 3 is what, 2,400 plus 800 for the bomb plant, so they get 32.
They're actually okay now that I look at it, because I think it's maybe after this round, but it just took way longer to bring down the money than I originally thought it would. So good economy management from Gambit. And of course the plants, as you were mentioning, helping them out pretty good too.
Here they go towards Ivy. Let's go. Halfway through the first half. Ooh.
Quick little 1-2 trade there.
So Magisk is not supposed to peek there. He's only supposed to peek if the Opera does not get the kill. Right? So if they like wide swing on him lower and Alu doesn't die, but he misses, that's the best time for Mixwell to peek, right? Anyway. What do I know?
You're just James.
I'm just a human being breathing air, enjoying the CS, loving every minute of it.
We're all enjoying the good CS.
Having the time.
Having the time of his
Somebody
life.
please look up that meme so I don't seem like some person who just says stuff that is off tune.
What's that guy's name? I forgot the guy's name.
I don't know what his name is. I feel like I should at least give him
His last name was Dip. I just remember that much. Dip? Yeah.
Oh, that makes the meme even better.
So, in case anyone's wondering where we keep referencing, there's a funny video from ESPN where a reporter came in and filled in like for a segment and just didn't have any idea what he was doing, so it's pretty funny. Anyway, no time to explain as the gunfight is on. It's down to a 3v3, but look at this flank from Alu. He's walking all the way up the sidewalk. No one knows he's here. He's only able to get 1 kill as a Dren takes him out. Or Adrian, excuse me. HS will push forward though, securing one of the last 2 kills with Hobbit going down at upper. That'll do it. OpTic secure another one. 4 straight for them, and they're only 1 away from the tie, and they still actually haven't broken Gambit by some miracle here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great job at Inner trying to stay alive. That's kind of the guy at Inner's job, is stay alive as long as possible, maybe do some chip damage, corral them so we know where they can be on the post plant. Obviously, it's easier said than done, right? When somebody says stay alive, then they get mad at you if you give them too much room. You know, it's like this balancing act that you need to play. So hats off to all you site anchors out there who know how to do that.
Give the people at home props. I like it.
Yep.
So we've got Gambit again trying to toy with Ivy a little bit. But this is unfamiliar territory to them because of what you were mentioning before. This is really only the 2nd round throughout the entire course of the half. They've actually actively tried to take control over Ivy. And much like the last round, it is not going too well. Mo getting hit down to 27 HP. Spam also ringing out from Doja too, which could prove to give him away if they're not careful. But Freiburg is taking a more passive angle to hold this currently, and will actually be forced out even more with the molly going onto the ground. However, he also tossed in the smoke, and that's going to hold back the push from Gambit for, obviously, its duration. Since now it is just Doja holding, and Mo has rotated over to group up with the rest of the team, which I think is going for an inner push, if I'm looking at the minimap right.
I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a super elegant way of nullifying the T default nades at Ivy. You know, the smoke and the molly and then the re-molly, the walk-up and the flash. Like, I'm sure if somebody put their mind to it, they could come up with something cool to counter that right quick.
But that hasn't been found just yet, so people will be forced to deal with it. Doja, after some delay, now going to group up with the rest of the team, but he'll be very detached, which means more than anything could cut off an early flank. Magisk, though, is holding. The flank may not even be needed if they let him go off like this. 2 kills from him. HS even finds Doja, wrapping back in. He's just shutting this all down right now. Hobbit left as the last man standing in a 1v4, no less. First kill is quick from him, but Mixwell just as quick to grab the trade.
Gambit needs a pause. Please pause. Okay, the reason I want them to pause right now is because 4 out of the 5 of the people that died that round died with their gun not out. or not even shooting at the enemy that killed them, right? So what that means to me is that I'm going to assume, right? Obviously I don't know, but it means that they were probably rushed by whoever is calling the strats, right? So like, go, go, go. You know, like, they're not totally ready, they don't have the wits about them, they haven't really gained the information about what they feel about the situation.
So with them being unready for that, it leads to a lot of very clean kills for OpTic, as we ended up seeing there. Gambit now end up on pretty much just pistols for this round. A few players, 4 of them at least, able to buy up armor behind the pistols, but head armor here, and slowly peeking into box halls. Okay, that's not going to be able to make things work, but Adrian, with the deagle in hand, can certainly do them one better. Pushes forward, instantly knocks out Alu. And for the rest of Gambit, continue to sneak forward here. Freiberg being found out in the corner. Fitch is going to try to steal a kill away at that position, but no. Freiberg just barely holds on. The train, more than anything, keeping him alive there as he trades back the kill and knocks out Fitch.
King of Ivy?
Maybe.
So he went from bananas to Ivy?
Yeah. Just traded.
I don't know how those are linked other than being
I've never tried an Ivy.
Foliage or plants or botany. I love that word, botany. Because it has the word bot in it.
Oh, does
Bot
it?
Alu.
Oh,
God Alu.
Oh, okay.
God Alu as of late, by the way. He's been super consistent for them.
And he is leading the fry count for OpTic. So.
Yeah, he's the best player, obviously.
So we have Gambit getting ready to deploy down the ramp finally. Obviously a bit of a slow crawl from them since their numbers have been reduced and they have 0 utility.
That molly is sick, by the way. It gets top and bottom of pop. I'm going to steal that.
So that covers things off quite nicely for them. Doja being brought down low, but he does get the first kill here, evening back out the fight as well. And OpTic seem a little bit hesitant on this retake. Primarily, though, because I think they're waiting for HS to get into position again. However, they're going to know he's coming. Oh, and it's a miss from Mo, which is now going to open up this retake wide open for OpTic to just walk right up and defuse the bomb again. As they get 3 clean kills, don't lose any additional players. Gambit fall apart at the seams for the 2nd round in a row here.
I mean, I don't know how Mo missed that shot. Obviously, he's a good opper. He's on Gambit. Perhaps he was like, man, I really got to hit this shot. I have no armor. As soon as that aim punch comes in, I'm done, right? And that probably got to his head. Anyone who's put a significant amount of hours in this game knows that if you're thinking about what you're doing, you're probably not going to do it well. You got to just do, don't think. Not when you're calling strats, but when you're aiming.
Well, what Gambit are going to need to do here is to actually try and pick them around for themselves. They split up once again, just into this default. Once more as well, very little Ivy presence, and I think OpTic might try to challenge that this time. We do have Freiberg pushed up to the servers. However, Gambit are holding to watch out for a push like that. They haven't actually moved into Ivy to take actual control.
This is a very, very outside-heavy setup. Like, HS is the closest guy to rotate to enter, and he's super pushed up alone towards E-Box. That's a lot to put on that guy, right? He's, you know, almost not arguably the least experienced player on OpTic, and they're giving him basically the most responsibility outside right now. But he does get to fall back to safety on the bomb train. And now I'm going to shift the most responsibility over to Magus, who's alone at enter. Very alone at enter.
I'm not entirely sure if Gambit are going to go for enter, though, which would be the linchpin on this entire play right now. So if we do see that interplay happen, and HS wasn't ready for it, then that could be bad, but he's already actually rotated, so an inner hit would probably work out well for OpTic now. The defenses
Doja's
are
going to lurk them Ivy. They're all going to stare. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah. Trying to creep up towards it. Presence inside. Again, though, Alu's showing up with that first initial kill. Seems to be sneaking off frags against Gambit while they're executing. Hobbit will trade, but it's onto HS. But Adrian also getting position at the bomb train. Finds one more to add on to it. Alu trading back with Doja. Now trying to sneak in, however, it fails completely. Freiberg takes him down. Gambit will have bargained for enough room to at least get a plant going for themselves, but they have so many factors to worry about in this retake that I don't think they're going to be able to hold it. Mo's already dead, excuse me, and it's just up to Hobbit in a 1v3 scenario to try and close this out. And they should, I think they already have a pretty good idea as to where Hobbit's at. Freiberg, though, looks away. Unfortunately, it will cost him his life. They've got Hobbit pinned now. It's just a matter of isolating him and knocking him out. It'll be Alu to do the job, picking up his 4th kill on the round, sending OpTic up to 7 here.
Yeah, that is, that's got to take the wind out of their sails there. That strat was literally perfectly executed, and then it just fell apart at the seams during the post plan, right? That was and the reason I said I understand now is because now I understand they're basically setting up the long con by not hitting Ivy very often for that strat, right? Like Doja completely whiffed on Freiburg at Ivy there. He lurked him perfectly. He had no idea he was there. They had the sight. If he gets that kill, the round's won, right? Instead of being a 2v3, it becomes a 3v2, yada, yada, yada. Mo doesn't get put in a bad spot. Mo had to reposition because he died. Whew.
They don't get pincered like that.
This is why you hit the DMs before you go to a match, boys. You don't want to be missing shots.
Is that why you hit the DMs?
I see what you did there. Direct messages.
Oh, I wasn't really thinking that.
Oh, so I was thinking about that. Now you put that on me.
I was just thinking about that Days story about Philadelphia.
What was that?
They just gotta hit. Apparently, it's some weird thing that Uber said to Dazed at one point. It's worth looking up if you ever have the time. It's worth telling the full story, but the full story is like really long. So.
Being a Counter-Strike aficionado, I don't know if I can spend any energy on Dazed anymore because he quit CS. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Unless I'm gonna get a inventory makeover, and that's gonna be perfect timing from Alu. Wow, that's impressive to have the balls to peek that with the flash in your face. I guess it helps having Freiburg there.
Indeed,
guy who has a pedigree of his own. OpTic's really taken this half by the horns. Going to the triple opposite. This is disrespect at its finest.
The best part is Gambit aren't even going to be aware of it until they try to push somewhere like inner. This is where Magisk has shown up now with the tertiary off. Try and work with. And that's unfortunate for a Duran. Getting tagged through the wall. Nothing you can do about that, except try to trade that out. But now moving in, they're going to continue to find more and more op power present for the OpTic gaming side of things. They've at least gotten out, but look at the nade power that's still present for OpTic here. So many mollies and HEs being thrown against them, and Mixwell, dirty shot to find Adrian. Hobbit also getting knocked out here by HS. Doja finally catches at least one trade. There's still 4 more players to eliminate. That's only the first kill we've seen Gambit get just in this round. It's not long before Alu finally catches the angle to knock out Doja in T-Con and secure number 8 for OpTic.
In before AWP TIC Gaming.
Oh, I see.
Ooh, yeah, that's not obvious.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's happened or been typed or whatever. Plenty of times before I said that.
It's like that, and it's that and saying opportunity when you're talking about an opera.
Optimistic.
Oh yeah, there we go. Basically any word that starts with op, because
yep.
Operation.
Oh, Operation Hydra. Anyway, we're gonna get back into this round, something that is not depressing. And Gambit going with the you know, kind of lackluster buy here. Low utility Galil, aka Defender in hand on Hobbit, but it's in Hobbit's hands, so it's basically the best gun in the game.
Going to be able to do some work with it, though, as the fast execute will roll up to the bomb site. They were able to make this work before. They've got to be careful of this off presence, though, and they deal with it very quickly. Freiburg denies the plant, finds a second kill as well, bringing the numbers down for the T side even more. Just Hobbit and Doja are the only ones left alive and standing here. HS, good control over the situation, finds Doja trying to sneak into the sandwich lane, and now it's just Hobbit left alive. Again, another pretty much impossible situation for him to come back from. Does have the smoke to hide in, but I think he's kind of lost himself in the smoke, so he's trying to wait for it to fade before he gets anything done. But it will fade off of his head first, and Freiburg will be able to find him off of that, eliminating Hobbit and securing a 9th round for OpTic as we go into the final round of the half.
Do you know what the closing 5 seconds of that round reminded me of? Was Hobbit's 1v4 or 1v5 clutch against FaZe on Inferno at Epicenter. So the bomb was planted, Hobbit was a T. He killed the guy defusing the bomb from hiding in a smoke right next to the bomb. 1v5. It was like the most ridiculous thing ever. So easiest way of winning a 1v5, but least probable.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening on that last round there. Freiburg making a bold move here. It's not too surprising to see him getting traded, especially with the deep smoke being tossed back in. They these have one of their own, though, and not only that, but Mixwell found another kill. Knocked out Fitch. So Gambit are still not going to be able to gain much, even with that traded kill on Freiburg, unfortunately. Magisk will make it even worse by knocking out Hobbit on inner. So the plan seems to slowly fall apart here from Gambit. It started off the half so well, but I'm pretty sure if we assume Mao doesn't clutch this, or Mo, excuse me, doesn't clutch this, then I think this is a straight 10-round streak from OpTic. Maybe with 1 round being the exception.
I think that's a tab score sheet away at the end of the half. Thank you, DJ Prius Kuntz, in advance. You don't need to do it now. I want to see Moo give his best. I want to see Alu also pull out his sidearm here, but he's not going to do it. It was the R8.
Yeah, so let's check. Was that a straight 10 rounds just to make sure from OpTic? Yes, it was. So
Ooh.
10 straight rounds for OpTic at the very end of the first half. Definitely an impressive feat from them. But for Gambit, really needed to get things together on the CT side. So do stick with us, guys. We're coming back with the second half right after this break. Welcome back again here, guys. OpTic Gaming with the real streak that they put up on their CT side back in the last half here. Currently have a massive lead over Gambit. We're going into the second half now. It's 10-5, of course. If for whatever reason you can't see the stream, Gambit will start now on the CT side and look for a way to get back into this match. And let's just find out if they can do it, as I believe we're going to have a pretty quick execute from OpTic. Out they go, Ooh. And down goes Mixwell as both Fitch and Adrian get kills to start off the pistol. Looking for more as Magisk will find some trades. Gets the one kill. Adrian also low too, but he's still able to find impact. Gets another kill. Alu with two quick taps knocks out Hobbit and Mo, leaving only Doja alive. Doja sneaking up on Freiburg right now, and Freiburg has no ideas about the flight from this direction, but still gets the better of Doja anyway, giving the pistol to OpTic and now controlling that lead going into the second half.
Ex-teammates on NIP, Alu and Freiburg chiming in with 2 kills of their own there on that pistol run. Magisk getting that all-important entry out of the ladder after Fitch gets the full blind kill somehow on the first guy out. I really like that strat. Smoking off Z, which is probably going to be the main spot for rotating, right? Unless the CTs have some kind of interesting non-standard setup. Cool stuff there from OpTic, showing the confidence and the pace of the strat.
Gambit are going to continue holding with 4 outside, but that will now shift since the one solo inner player has heard the action. Actually, Doja is allowed to get away with the first kill too, which is very surprising to me considering the minimalist purchase. Mo even getting one himself, and he might find HS. In fact, he does. Mo is doing quite a bit of work from the back train yard, and he even dink Freiburg as well, so pretty good work overall done by Mo here. If Freiburg peeks him in the right way, he might be able to find that headshot at range to try and finish things off here, but not going to happen. Freiburg does come out on top over Mo, and OpTic again in the second round, but it's also obviously very, very messy, not in the way that they wanted to win that at all.
Yeah, with very little investment, too. You know what would be funny here is they could have bought. Gambit could have bought here with like the FAMAS, right? Knowing that OpTic basically only survived with 1 or 2. Definitely a risky thing to do, but when the scoreline's 12-5, and if you lose this round, which you probably will, it's going to be 13-5, that's a long run to make back.
We've got trades again to start things off. Hobbit just killing out HS with a nade. won't mean much at this point in time here, as OpTic also split themselves towards inner after they go 1-1 on the outside trade. Magisk looks like he's going to continue to push past the smoke. He's going to be careful. There's a Deagle in play over by Z, and he has no vision right now. He's just a single target going up against them. Alu thankfully finds Fitch, and it looks like Mixwell has pretty good control of the sidewalk area of things. There we go. Knocks out both of those rotated players. Just Hobbit left again in a 1v3 scenario. He's going to walk forward, try to challenge Mixwell, but Mixwell will get the better of him, securing a 13th round for OpTic. Just 3 more to go as we get into the gun round, and they have control over this map.
Against Gambit, though, it's not going to be just 3 more. Each one of these rounds is going to be a grinder, especially if Gambit wins this round. That means that they're going to have to win more than 1 gun round, right? Because if OpTic win this round, then Gambit's going to be on a save. It'll be easier. So this round is going to be huge for the comeback attempt.
At least 2 gun rounds still needed from OpTic to try and pick things up here. So,
oh, Doja.
All this will have plenty of warning, but still, Mixwell gets the opening kill. Both these players staying out in the lane, though, which is going to be a little bit dangerous given their health pools. Adrian finds the kill on HS. Mixwell was able to escape behind the train yard, but the problem is the bomb hasn't even committed here yet. This is just Mixwell on his own now. Fitch is going to flank him, easily take him down.
And now they have the info that it's not there.
Yeah, and suddenly that info is given away, which means we can see the rotate come out from Mo, we can see the rotate from Adrian back into the A site. And this is
Hobbit's going to come under pressure here.
This is not going to be such a difficult play to spot. Magisk even moving in. Hobbit has actually a pretty easy kill against Magisk right there, but at the end of the day, it's left to Freiburg in a 1v4 situation to try and clutch against Gambit. A hole in the backside. Did not see that player in the back lane jumping. I think Hobbit saw him, though. He's still trying to peek for it. Freiburg now finally positioning to spam into that position. He's been revealed, though. He needs to get into a safer spot, and he'll find that just outside of T-Con. Really just limiting his options, however, hoping that Gambit will continue to push aggressively, try to box him out. But with the bomb, his options are a little bit better. He can still try to play around with more parts of the map since he's not limited to just one site. So he's going to change himself over towards Ivy and make an attempt here instead.
I actually love watching guys like Freiburg in the clutch because in the past, right, he was almost the hard entry in every single strat, so you don't really get to see him clutch very often. But you can just see how much he understands the game in terms of how he peaks certain things, the angles he's watching. Obviously, nothing really to write home about there. If I was him, I'd be in that situation hoping for the win, but going for 2 kills, right? We talked about this earlier. If you have a big lead, and especially if the opponent is on CT side second half, if you chip away their economy, that's one of the easiest ways to just close out the game without even having to really own them, right? Just at some point, they're just going to have low buy, you're going to win it, and then you're going to be saving on the side.
So with OpTic now being put down onto that low buy, we will see if Gambit going to be able to easily shut this down, or if things will continue to get a little bit messier. HS leads the charge on the drop, and Fitch just deleting him. The problem is, though, is that there's potentially way more players pushing that ladder room if they're not careful.
Oh,
Freiburg specifically getting Doja to bait, Doja kind of baiting himself by running up the ramp there. Freiburg knocking him out, so that's found the even. 4v4 battle. Adrian also still going to be positioned from within the site, but he'll be caught falling back, and Mixwell doesn't just stop there. Look at the damage he just did to Mo. Mo actually almost dying due to the nade. Thankfully, he backs out in time, but if that landed on his head, he'd be a dead man. Hobbit at least gets the better of Mixwell in an up-close fight, and Magisk is hit hard, down to just 3 HP. He's now forced back into the sandwich lane again. Fitch even holding there, too. So now they should commit to a retake, where it looked like seconds ago they were going to save Hobbit as well. Nicely done. Leaping over the train and spinning it back to find Alu, but Freiburg with the train kill, but gets over-aggressive. Pushes out just a little bit too soon, and Hobbit will get the better of him.
If he had armor, I think he wins that.
I think so, too, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually kind of ridiculous for Gambit to give up that much. Doja, come on, man. Don't be pushing inner there. Like, your team is behind by 7 rounds at that point. You're going to give away a rifle like that? It's totally unnecessary.
And then giving that up now means, of course, the game.
Their economy's that much more brittle,
yeah.
right? Like, his push probably cost not only his rifle that he lost, but at least 1 other, maybe 2 other, right? By giving him that latitude.
And we are going to see push continue forward.
He's got falls.
Oh! Moo! Freiburg finding both of those kills all of a sudden now has left the gap wide open at Ivy. There's no one that can, easily defend this anymore from Gambit. They have to pull the rotate from Adrian, and even he's going to arrive a little bit too late. They've already pushed in from Ivy, and he's going to now have to hold on the back lane as a result of that. And they even find him immediately, too. Fitch is caught trying to flank out from ladder room. Everything just fell apart for Gambit there. And so now Doja is left alone, more than likely, just to save here, but can't even accomplish that.
That's the dagger.
Pretty much.
Right, because look at their money. If he didn't push that last round, they would have a good buy here, man. Such a simple thing, too.
What is that?
To not push. They're on an eco.
Oh, yeah.
I think the interesting note from last round that I took away is that Freiburg is an Ivy player. Freiburg understands that if a rifler is pushed at or near that server box where Hobbit was taking the aggression, that it's highly likely that he'll have backup coming during that rifler's fallback, right? So he knew that Moo was likely to peek, which allowed him to get that double because he's mentally ready for him to peek either side.
So Freiburg is going to be able to catch that first kill. Start things off here. Gambit, in general, trying to play more aggressive. The timing on the second peek works out for Adrian, at least. Moves in, finds Freiburg. He's going to continue to fight inside of here, too. Problem is, HS kills the player that he had watching E-Box. He takes the bait on that, swings outside, and even with a blind player, Mixwell is still able to pick up some massive kills at the end there, putting OpTic on map point. And for Gambit, well, completely running them out of caches. They really don't have a whole lot here.
Can you ask me a question if the game ends here? I'm going to ask you to ask me a question.
What's the question?
Is OpTic the real deal based on this map?
Oh, okay. I'll ask
so ask me after if
it
ends here.
Duly noted.
Proverbially.
Proverbially noted.
I don't know if anyone's been watching the stream that long continuously. I would give him a pat on the back.
If you are, give us a shout out, because we're proud of you.
Prove it.
Prove it, yeah.
What am I connecting that to?
Al is going to get the first kill this time. Gambit, as we can see, being reduced down by one. We'll continue this fight. Magisk, there's the headshot from him. He'll keep spamming into it just in case there was a second guy pushing Ivy. Obviously, since you can see from the minimap, that is not going to be the case. Ooh. Fitch trying to patiently wait, but the problem is the Molly is going to send him out, and that's a goodbye to him. Zalo picks up another kill. Freiburg with one more. Just Adren left standing alone, and he's not going to be able to get much done. OpTic close it out in quick fashion after those first 5 rounds were won by the guys on Gambit. It ends 16-7 overall after a 10-5 start from OpTic. So very, very consistent play for them. They won 13 rounds straight at one point in the game, and then managed to chain together their final 3 after 2 more were picked up by Gambit. So very well done from OpTic, and I must ask you, are OpTic the real deal?
Yes.
They are. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. That's one way to close it out.
To beat Gambit on train, regardless of how Gambit's playing that day, that's legit. Like, Gambit is a very strong train team. This is a LAN match. People have had time to warm up. It's not early in the day. We're basically knocking off all the excuses.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless I don't know something.
Jet lag? For now, did we get through jet lag yet?
I'm optimistic that OpTic is the real deal.
You're optimistic?
Yeah.
That's nice. All right, guys, that's going to close out this match. The next one's coming up here in just a little bit from the B stream at IEM Oakland.